Now, the midfielder's made 125 appearances for Arsenal. He scored 7 goals from 2008 to 2018. He also won 2 FA Cups in his career and 34 caps for England. This is the announcement that he made on Twitter. He said, "From being the little boy kicking the ball around in the garden to captaining my beloved Arsenal and playing for my country at a World Cup, I have lived the dream. In truth, it's been difficult to accept that my career has been slipping away in recent times due to reasons outside of my control, whilst feeling that I have still had so much to give. Having played at the highest level, I've always held huge ambitions within the game, and if I am truthful, I did not envisage being in this position at times." What a footballer.
Yeah.
Just, I don't think you need to be an Arsenal fan to appreciate the talent that Jack Wilshere has, Jamie.
No, I mean, he was a superb talent. He really was a world-class talent. I remember playing against him when he was probably 18. I was four or 5 years older than Jack, and I've been playing for a few seasons, and I remember playing against Arsenal at the Emirates against Fabregas and all that, and then he come into the side, and he was only a young lad, and I was thinking, I've been playing for Tottenham for a few seasons now. I was comfortable, felt good. And I was thinking, don't let this lad, everyone's talking about him, don't let this lad, run all over you. He's 18 years of age. Mate, couldn't get near him. He was brilliant, good on the ball, loved playing little give and goes in midfield. But what I loved about him as well, like Gascoigne used to do, he'd stand you up in midfield, and most midfielders will just get it and keep it moving, pass, and wait for the moment for the game to open up. He would run at you, he'd go past you in the middle of the pitch, and that was rare. You didn't have that much, and he had a low centre of gravity. Was really good. Never give the ball away. And yeah, people say, is he a wasted talent? No, I don't think he is a wasted talent. I think he did the best he could do with the body that he was given. He's been absolutely dogged with injuries, and really had some tough moments in his career, and he's tried, and in the end, I know what it's like when you get to the end of your career and you just don't feel right, you're not enjoying it, you constantly feel like you're rehabbing. In the end, you've just had enough, and it's like, you know what, I've just got to let it go.
Ali, talk to us about injuries, because us lot who aren't professionals can look from the outside in and go, oh, he's injured again, oh, he's always injured, that sort of thing. Yeah. But tell us what it's really like for a player to be going through those things.
I think it's the worst I've felt in my career mentally was when I was injured, because you're down, because what you do is, Jamie will tell you, it's a nightmare. You're in the morning, you see the lads in the morning, you maybe have a bit of breakfast with the lads in the morning, they put their gear on and go out training, and you put your gear on and go into the gym or go to the swimming pool, and that's the hard bit. It's mentally, you've got to be unbelievably strong, and that's how I feel for somebody like Jack Wilshere. I mean, I don't accept the wasted talent, because it'd be wasted talent if he was out doing things he shouldn't have and all that kind of stuff. But this, I think he is, and I think he said it himself, due to reasons outside of his control. If your body, playing at that elite level sport, your body has to be, particularly now more than ever, it has to be finely tuned. And the slightest wee thing, he's picking up injuries now, and his body just can't handle it. And it's that's the shame, because mentally he'll be absolutely fine, thinking to himself, my mind's as sharp as ever, I can do this. But unfortunately for somebody like Jack Wilshere right now, his body will not allow him to do what he wants to do, and that's the sad part. That's the mental part that's a lot of guys find very, very difficult, myself included. But it's a funny one, because when I get injuries, Jamie, when I actually handled breaking my leg better than I did sometimes with a hamstring, because I knew I had a target. For my broken leg, I knew it was going to be 4 months, and I knew what I had to do. Whereas with a hamstring, you had to treat it carefully. You didn't want to come back too soon. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Injuries are a massive part of it, Jamie, and that's what I feel for him. I really do feel for him, because 30 is not an age at all to retire from football with his talent. It
can really savage a player in any sport, really, can't it? And getting an injury can put you in quite a dark place, and you have to be quite mentally strong to try and come through that when you're watching everybody around you continue and grow. For a player like Jack, when like you guys are saying, people saying it's a wasted talent, we know what he could have achieved if he didn't, but sometimes you can't really control those sort of things. But I think a lot of respect should be given for players that manage to continually pull themselves through
Yeah.
very dark times, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ali knows what it's like, and I've been through some terrible times with injuries. My whole career was dogged by injuries, fracturing my spine, having knee operations, ankles, everything, pulling hamstrings. I had groin tendonitis, which was, it was honestly the worst injury.
I bet it was. I get that.
It was, Ali, like you said, I would have rather broken my leg, because at least I would have known the time scale of when I was going to be back, and I could set myself a target. But I had this groin tendonitis, which I had it at Wolves when I signed for Wolves, and it ended up, the reason being was because I've got a fractured spine. I've got 2 rods and a screw in my spine. That was stiff, and then my hips moved in a different way, and that's what gave me the groin tendonitis. I ended up having 3 operations. I had a double hernia, done all the rehab for the double hernia, come back, kicked a ball, exactly the same pain. So imagine going through 3 months of rehab on your own in a gym, walk out, kick a ball, and you've still got the same pain. Go back in, another operation, do it again. Do it. And in the end, I ended up having some of my groin. I had to have it taken out, and it ended up. But I was out for like a year. And you're sitting there watching the team struggle, the fans struggling, the players struggling, and you can't do anything. You're just sat on the physio bed with, a program to go and do in the gym on your own. And people don't understand how mentally tough that is, because you're meant to be around people all the time. Footballers love being around other footballers in the gym, enjoying themselves, and they thrive on adulation. They thrive on being out there, showcasing their talents. When your body takes that away from you, it's honestly one of the most difficult things to go through. And in the end, you kind of just fall out of love with it. And I got to a point where I was coming back, and I wasn't fit. I wasn't the same Jamie O'Hara, half a yard slower and not as sharp as you was. And you just kind of lose the will to keep trying to do it. And that's why you see players fall away, because it just becomes so much harder to deal with.
Yeah. Theo Walcott's been on, and he says Jack was incredibly talented, and it's just a shame about all his injuries. His claim to fame with Theo, though, was that he was quicker than Theo to 5 to 10 metres, and then after that he'd leave him behind.
He was sharp. Jack was really sharp.
Yeah.